It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Field! Number 70!
We're talking about practice.
Hello, you play to win the game.
The Yankees are champions of baseball.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
3, 2, 1, happy 2000!
No time on the clock, and the Patriots have won Super Bowl 36. Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Worldwide Sports Radio Network presents Below the Mic.
And we are finally back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Below the Mic, and we are live every single Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New York Eastern Time. Remember, you can call us at 631-965-4990. And remember, you can download our app, or you can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Go to our app or your applications on iOS, WWSRN, or you can go to your Android, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Speedy Petey, what's going on, my friends?
Not much, but I finally got into Winona Earp for Bo.
Are you watching it?
I watched the first two episodes. It was very interesting. So shout out to Bo, shout out to Jillian with all that. I did get into it.
I watched the first episode.
Okay.
I really haven't had the time to really get into any TV show or anything because everything that's going on in the world. We have a tornado coming here in Long Island. Who knows what's going to happen if we're going to be washed away out to the ocean or out to the sea. We don't know what's going on. But as you guys know, we do this every single Thursday. We call this topic what?
Sports and entertainment news.
Here we go. The NHL calls off the Thursday playoff games. Well, everything that's going on in the world, the whole Jacob Blake situation, not only the NHL, the NBA has decided to cancel games for tonight to back up what's going on in the world. I disagree, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. NBA players have decided to resume playoffs. Well, they decided to resume playoffs. Why is it that the NBA players control everything that's going on in sports? I don't understand. LeBron James has something to do with it. I love LeBron as a player. As far as him opening his mouth and doing the things that he does on and off the court, I disagree with him. So I will talk about it in a little while. NFL news, Jadeveon Clowney expected to sign with a surprising Super Bowl contender. Well, I don't know who that Super Bowl contender is. It's definitely not the New York Jets and the New York Giants because I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders. So I guess the Jets and the Giants are out on the Jadeveon Clowney situation. I do believe there are two teams that could stand out. One of them, the New England Patriots. That is a team that a lot of people think could be in the Baltimore Ravens, another team that's been buying and selling defensive players. Now that Earl Thomas is out and about, why not bring in Jadeveon Clowney?
You said Tennessee for a while, so it could be another one.
Yes,
especially since they traded Jarrell Casey.
I do believe that Tennessee's another team. We'll see what happens. Saquon Barkley and Sterling Shepard, Giants game boycott not ruled out. Why are these players ruling out anything? Stay in the game. What's going on in the world has nothing to do right now in professional sports. I understand. I back up what is going on in the world, and I agree with the players. There is so much going on. There's so much wrongdoing going on in the world. But to take a day off or take a game off makes absolutely no sense. You're not making a statement. All you're doing is showing you that you control the sport. And the sports world is controlled not only by the fan, but by the owners and the commissioner. And I don't understand why the commissioner is allowing this, but that's just another story.
Especially with all the personal tragedies we've seen with athletes in the past. We saw Michael Jordan win that game for his father. Chris Paul had a very similar performance for his father. We saw the Marlins with Jose Fernandez. A lot of different things. It happens. And a lot of other sports have gone on since then. A lot of those guys have played well because of it.
Bengals Joe Burrows asks how anyone could dismiss black people's pain and nothing. First of all, I understand what Joe Burrows is saying, and I back him up on everything that he says. But here's the thing. There's a time and a place for everything. You should not be using your platform to talk about this. You should be using your own platform. Build your own website. Go out there in public eye where you're not playing and speak upon it. Why are you doing it and stepping in the way with the sports world? I don't agree with it. Le'Veon Bell can't be happy about the Jets trading for another running back. Well, I don't know who the Jets are trading for another running back. Have you heard anything?
They traded for Kalen Ballage, he's a backup, so that's not really good.
I don't understand why he cares so much. I think All Le'Veon Bell has to decide to do is how to run the ball behind a great offensive line this year. We'll see what he does when this offensive line is reconstructed and a completely different beast. Bucks, Bruce Arians calls for actions protesting doesn't do crap. I agree with Arians. Why are you protesting? It's not going to stop anything. It's not going to stop what's going on in the world. It's going to continue happening. So, again, I agree with Bruce Arians. For what these players are doing and what other people are doing on and off the field makes absolutely no sense because it's going to continue happening and it's not going to stop what's going on in the world. NBA rumors. LeBron James stayed silent in meeting about resuming season. Well, I'm not surprised. LeBron James runs the show with the NBA. He is the NBA, and it seems like he's the light of everybody's tunnel. But to me, LeBron James just needs to shut his mouth and worry about winning another championship and trying to put himself in the whole conversation with Michael Jordan, which even winning another championship won't do.
No.
So, I don't understand it. NBA postseason expected to resume on Saturday. Boo-hoo. Why does anybody give a crap? I'll tell you this right now. The ratings for the NBA is not very good right now. It is not very good. And anybody that thinks that it's going to continuously keep progressing when it comes to fans, what's going on in the world and what the players are doing, they're sadly mistaken. Draymond Green explains why canceling the season would be counterproductive. Well, Draymond, there's a lot of counterproductive things you do, including putting your you-know-what on Snapchat and then erasing it. So that's counterproductive. It doesn't help you. It doesn't help what is going on with the Golden State Warriors. Oh, I forgot the Golden State Warriors are not in the NBA playoffs, so maybe that's why it's counterproductive for him.
Just let him be an analyst. Let him roast Charles Barkley.
Michael Jordan voices his reasoning during owners' meetings. Now, Michael Jordan has his own thoughts of what's going on in the world. Michael Jordan said it himself. He doesn't move, and he did this as a player. He doesn't talk about politics. He doesn't talk about what's going on in the world. He was an assassin, and what he does on the basketball has nothing to do with off-the-court situations. I don't know what Michael Jordan said, but I'm sure after the show I'm going to read what he said, and I'll talk about it next week, but I'm sure it's itsy-bitsy stuff that he doesn't really want to get into in the public eye. And MLB news. We are not functioning. We are not a functioning society. MLB players ponder next steps after decision not to play. Ponder what? The season must go on. You want to win a championship. You want to make your money. You want to fulfill your dreams of winning a championship. Continue playing. Taking a step back and canceling the season makes absolutely no sense, especially with the whole COVID-19 and the fact that you guys got back on the field. Do not cancel the season because of what's going on in the world. The world will go on just as well as you will. Phillies Nationals game postponed for protest and racial injustice. Again, there's a lot of racial injustice. I want to talk to Charlie Slows after this. I'm going to reach out to Charlie after the show and see what he thinks about the whole situation. It bothers me that the players are consistently pushing the ownership and pushing the commissioner to do what they want. It is not. I understand it's a players' league, but also the owners run the show. They pay these guys salaries. It affects me. It affects me as a fan, and I understand the fans. Some of the fans agree with this. I disagree completely on what's going on.
Would the owners care as much, though, being that the game will be made up later, so it's going to be similar in terms of the ratings and whatever?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person, because I have my own thoughts to it, and after what we do with sports and entertainment news, I'm going to speak on what I feel about the whole situation. Red Sox considering not playing versus the Blue Jays. Why? Social injustice? I mean, this is ridiculous. Every single team is trying to make their own rules and their own thoughts to what's going on in society. We understand what's going on in the world. COVID-19, social injustice, racial, sexist things going on with Woody Johnson. Everything is going on. Why is it that this is going on when it's been going on for years? It's been going on since the 1960s. Now all of a sudden it's reappearing and everybody's making it a social injustice. NHL rumors. Bruins Zdeno Chara says teams did not have time to mull on not playing. Well, Zdeno, I mean, with everything that's going on, it seems like the players are making a decision because they're not playing tonight. So I understand what he's saying. Maybe he was one of the guys that disagree with the social injustice and canceling games. I don't know, but I would love to hear from Zdeno Chara what he thought. One more thing. Jonathan, I don't like that one. Alain Vigneault.
Hey.
I have no idea about outside world protests in other sports. Well, Alain Vigneault has his own thoughts to it. I'm sure he disagrees on canceling games, social injustice. I think that things should be handled on and off the field, the ice, the court. It should not be handled in the middle of the center stage of the game. The playoffs are going on right now with the NBA and the NHL. The MLB has a 60-game season that needs to progress because they expect to finish the season at sometime in November and expect the season to start 2 months later. The show must go on. So that is my entertainment in sports, ladies and gentlemen. It's everything with this social injustice. I mean, everybody's got a right to their own opinion. They really do. And I am not saying that the players are wrong completely. Okay?
No.
I'm not. And I don't want anybody to think that I am because it's untrue. But what is going on in the world has nothing to do with the NBA, the NHL, the MLB, and the NFL. Okay? It really doesn't. Now, I understand there are innocent people dying. Innocent people dying. Police officers killing innocent people. Civilians killing innocent kids. I mean, there's so much going on. It's a racial situation. I understand why the world is the way it is. And we have the presidency coming up in the next couple of months. Who's going to win, Joe Biden or Donald Trump? Everybody wants to talk about politics. Everybody has their own thoughts to the politics. I understand. I want Josh to call the show because I'm sure Josh has his own thoughts to it. So you can put him on. But I will say this. When you look at a platform, and I will honestly tell you that Colin Kaepernick was not wrong for standing up for his social injustice with kneeling at the national anthem. But kneeling for the national anthem shows disrespect not only to the flag, but the United States. Now, I was talking to the Beef this afternoon, and he says he's not watching sports for the rest of the year, including football. Even if the Cowboys don't kneel, he's not going to watch the season. Here is the problem with that. Is that going to solve the problems in the social injustice that's going on in the world? The answer is no. What needs to be done is somebody needs to stand forth on what's going on in the world, stand up for racial injustice, sexist remarks, all the stuff that's going on, domestic violence. Somebody needs to stand for it. If it's not the president of the United States, it's got to be somebody. And I don't think it's a politician that I'm expecting to stand up for it. There has to be somebody center stage that is going to step in for different ethnic groups and everything. Because to me, if you have a different race standing up for a different race, or a different religion somebody that's a Jewish person or a Christian person standing up for their injustice, it's not going to solve anything. What's going to solve what's going on in the world and sports and everything that's going on in society is we have to stand together. We all have to stand together. I don't care what you are. I don't care if you're from Haiti. I don't care if you're from the United States, Germany, Italy. I don't care what color you are. I don't care what sex you are. I don't care if you're gay or you're straight. I don't care. What has to be done is we have to stand together. Right now, when you look what's going on in the world, we are the center stage of everything that's going on in the world. We are. The United States. And if we're fighting amongst each other, why wouldn't any other country attack us when we're down? That is the problem right now, what's going on in social injustice. People don't realize this because these countries like Russia, Japan, China, countries that are 10-1 to any one of our soldiers, they're a bigger army. And we are the strongest army in the world. And when we're speaking and we're fighting amongst each other, that is not going to solve the problem what's going on in the world. All right, put Josh on. What's going on, Josh?
Hey guys, how's it going? How are you? I know you guys have a guest on in a few minutes, so I'll be brief. Listen, I heard what you said, and look, what gets me so riled up and so angry is I don't know if you guys got a chance to watch Dominic Smith's post-game comments yesterday.
No.
And he was bawling, completely during the post game about everything, how, being a black man in the United States is hard. And literally, I showed my wife it too, and we both wanted to go through the phone and give the dude a hug and say, we're with you, man. And I'll tell you this, the reason being that I understand why that these guys are doing what they're doing on this platform is because they look at it like this. They probably feel there's owners out there that are racist. We know this, a la Donald Sterling and all this.
He's
There's
gone.
ownerships that they
He's
have
gone.
to
That's
pay.
not.
I know he's gone. I know he's gone. I know. Hold on. I know he's gone.
All right. Go ahead.
I know he's gone. I know he's gone.
I'm upset about this. I'm very upset about this.
But I'm what I'm pissed off about is the fact that there are people in this country that cannot get past people marrying the same sex, people that are black. They can't get past that. They're still stuck in the 1960s. People in this country, and these players feel that they have to entertain these fans when they shouldn't be entertained by these people. They should not be. So they should be able to. What Dominic Smith said yesterday is 100% factual in the sense that he says it's tough being a black man in this country, because there was a video that came up on Twitter where there was a guy who a white man pulled out a gun on a cop. The cop did nothing, and the guy chased the cop off. When if it was a black man that did it, what's the cop doing? The cop's shooting him. That's essentially what it is.
I understand.
And I'm not here to
I understand that. We're not talking politics, and I agree with you. I am 100% backing up what the players are saying. But take a step back and decide not to play in a game because of social injustice. I disagree. It is not your platform to do that. That's my argument. It is not your platform to say, you know what, I'm bigger than baseball. I'm bigger than the NBA. I'm bigger than the NHL. I'm bigger than all these sports. That is my argument. You are not.
But Arrow, the thing is, look at tonight, for example. A video just got posted just recently. The Mets didn't want to play the game tonight. Rob Manfred called up Brody Van Wagenen and basically wanted a show out there. He wanted at 7:10 for the Mets and the Marlins to come out there, walk off the field, and then at 8:10 go back out there and play. That's Rob Manfred's idea of this whole thing. So clearly he's not taking it seriously either. And that's the problem. That's why these guys have to do it, because that's the platform they're on.
Well, hold on one second, Josh. You have to look at Rob Manfred. He is a business guy, right? Who does he work for? He works for the owners. Am I right or wrong? He does.
Of course, yes.
So he works for the owners. So the owners are paying him. He makes his millions and millions of dollars through the ownership. So if Rob Manfred is getting his content from the owners and the owners are saying, well, this is what we want, this is how we're going to do this is how we're going to do it for social injustice, well, then they have every right to speak. They're the ones paying the players. They're the ones that are in charge of where the league is moving. They're the ones with the $1 billion.
There are players that could forego an error. To them, though, there are guys that could forego these salaries throughout the year. Look at Stroman. Marcus Stroman forego his salary this year because of COVID. These guys, there's guys that are taking stands at the same time because they feel that, hey, listen, you can keep my money, but I will not play for an organization that's going to treat this like a joke because it's constantly, nobody's taking it seriously. This has gone on for years now. We're going on. You know what I mean?
But you're saying, but hold on.
Arrow, this shouldn't even be a conversation you and I should even be
No, we shouldn't have it. We shouldn't have it.
No.
But it bothers me that I'm watching TV right now, and I expect after the show to pop on the sports that I need to press and see what's going on in sports. And I got to wait all the way to Saturday to see everything open because you know what? Social injustice, the players want to step forward, and they want to conquer just like LeBron James. And I'm sorry, as well as I think LeBron James is one of the greatest basketball players I've ever seen, LeBron James runs everything with the NBA. And the fact if LeBron James says jump, every single player is going to jump. And I disagree about that. I disagree.
It's clearly not, but that's clearly not because, look, he said already yes, they're protesting the rest of the year, the Lakers and the Clippers. But now they're saying they're continuing the playoffs.
Of course they are.
Are the Lakers and the Clippers a part of this conversation? Are they still involved in the playoffs then? Because LeBron was silent at the meeting today, and he walked out pissed off was what I heard. So I don't know if he's going to continue playing. Maybe the Lakers might continue playing, but I don't know if
he's
will.
playing.
He doesn't need the money.
He's going to play, and I'm going to tell you why LeBron James is going to play. It's all about winning that championship. It's all about catching up to Jordan. That's all he cares about. As much as you think, and everybody think, as much as everybody thinks that LeBron James cares about what's going on with social injustice, I'm sorry, I'm not speaking for LeBron James, but I'm telling you right now, he cares about money. He cares about where his product is going and where he is going to be compared to when he's done with his career to Michael Jordan. As far as everything going on in the world, this has been going on for years, like you said. Now all of a sudden this is happening, and it's the center front. Let me ask you this question.
It's getting worse and worse. It's getting worse and worse every day. You're seeing new things pop up every day. I mean, this guy.
It's not just police officers.
He got shot in front of.
How about the white kid? How about the little kid that got shot in the back of the head by an African American? Nobody talks about that. Nobody's talked about that.
I mean, look.
But that's the problem. That's the problem.
It's hate. There's a lot of hate, and I think people are just trying to. They're trying to find a middle ground.
Yeah, well, there's no middle ground to this.
Look, like I said, go watch if you get the chance.
Yeah.
Speedy, I know you're a Met fan. You know what I mean? Go watch the Dominic Smith post game yesterday, and you can't sit there and you can't tell me, my God, I feel so sorry for this guy. When you hear what he has to say. He even said yesterday, he says, guys just give money to charity and they walk away. And he basically said, you can't do that because this is the next generation of kids that are coming up. We want to make them better than our generation and figure out what
I agree with him.
Is. You know
you think I don't agree with Dominic?
He's right.
You don't think I agree with Dominic Smith?
Oh,
but
no, I think
absolutely,
you do agree with him.
I absolutely agree.
Didn't.
I'm not saying that they're wrong for speaking up and saying how they feel. Here's what I'm saying. They're using a platform they don't own. They have no right. They're getting paid millions of dollars to play the game. If you want to talk, go call up NBC or CBS after the game and speak up to the fans by that way. You're doing it that way, not using the platform to do it. I think this is the wrong way of doing it. I think this is absolutely the wrong way of doing it. But again, do I agree with them? I agree with Dominic Smith. I agree that innocent people are dying. It's not just African Americans. There's innocent kids getting killed out of nowhere because of social injustice. How about the white kid? I just said it. The little kid right in front of his two sisters getting murdered. So
it's a lot of hate. It's just a lot of hate, and it's all about people trying to find the platform to do it. And it's just giving. But the last thing I can say, because I know you guys have your guests. And I'll say this, with Rob Manfred saying what he said and the video popping up with Brody Van Wagenen basically telling Manfred he doesn't know how to lead Major League Baseball, which was caught on video. Listen, I can't stand Brody Van Wagenen, but he ain't wrong with that comment. I mean, look, if you're going to have these players come out there at 7:10, walk off the field, make it a show, and then come back out there at 8:10, I mean, are you serious? This is not something to make a show about.
No,
this is not something you portray. That's and even Brody said on video, it's the stupidest idea. He, and it is.
Nobody said he was smart.
No, wow. I mean, look,
knows how to make money.
You remember the first game of the year when there was a lightning bolt that struck behind him when he was talking on ESPN? That should have been a message. I mean, that should have been a no message. What he is, he's a freaking idiot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But I'll let you guys go. Like I said. I love you guys. You know that.
I know
all
you do, man. I love you too, man.
You know what I mean?
Happy you called. Happy you called.
Listen, I had to because you know what it was. I saw the Dominic Smith stuff. Yeah, I actually went out this morning. I actually bought a Dominic Smith T-shirt. Man, I love the guy now. He's my favorite player on this ball club. I really do, and I'm not even. He's just a good guy. I met him years ago in 2015 when he was with the St. Lucie Mets. That's how far. He took a picture with me after the game. Like he generally is one of the nicest guys.
Yeah, we took a picture
like that.
We took a picture together too. I had the Mets.
He's a good guy, isn't he? And he's a great guy.
I'll tell you what we did. I'll tell you what I did. I didn't want to take in front of the picture, so I did it from behind. I put the Yankees emblem on one cheek and the Mets emblem on the other.
No, God. No, but I'm saying in all seriousness. So think about this. But think about this really quick.
Yeah.
This is why Dominic Smith is one of the nicest guys on the planet. The guy was the top prospect coming up for the Mets, right, at first base.
Yeah, he lost his job.
He lost the job to Pete Alonso, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he supports Alonso more than anybody for his success. You see it with the brotherhood with the two of them. The brotherhood is just, it's undeniable with the two of them. And he just he was coming out there, Speedy, you remember when he was coming out there on the scooter last year with the 1 foot. He's coming out there celebrating with his teammates. I mean, the guy is just a genuine, and to see him that upset yesterday, it broke my heart to see somebody that nice in the world be that upset.
I'm a nice guy, and I'm upset. What about me?
You're okay. You're all right.
So I'm a mean guy. So I'm a mean guy. Is that what you're saying?
They don't know that you're off the camera. Yeah, listen. I know Speedy knows you as well as anybody. So just go.
Well, I have my own way of being me.
Listen, guys, listen. Go. I love you guys. Listen, it's good. We had a heart-to-heart, nice conversation.
Absolutely,
about
I love
it.
you, man. Thank you.
You know what? And honestly, listen. Let's just hope for equality here, man. Let's just get past this.
I want it.
We're not in the 1960s. We're in 2020, and let's let my future children and your future children grow up in a society where there's no hate, there's no racism.
I agree.
There's no, everybody's equal, man. Seriously, and we got to get past all this. This is crap. Seriously, it makes all the work Abe Lincoln did, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, all the work that these guys did, a waste if we cannot get past any of this. And clearly, some of us are still living in with this stuff, man. It hurts me with this country. It really does. It sucks a lot. But go. I'll talk to you guys. We're going to continue watching the show, have fun, and I'll speak to you guys. All right.
All right, my friend. Thank you for calling.
All right, guys. Be good. Bye.
Josh from Off the Mat. If you don't check out their show, you better check out their show. They're on our network every single Saturday at 12 p.m. New York Eastern Time. Him and Alex Slows, Charlie Slows' son, they do a show called Off the Mat. If you like wrestling and all around wrestling, from the WWE for everything, I don't watch wrestling anymore, unfortunately. It became a soap opera to me, more drama than I can ever deal with. So I'd rather watch a soap opera with what's that show called on Channel 2? What do they call that show?
Oh, General Hospital?
General Hospital. That's what I almost said Jennifer Hospital. Oh, my God. Anyways, that tells you how tired I am. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit Dylan Ferguson here on Below the Mic.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Six 631-965-4990 is the number. This is Below the Mic. We are live every single Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New York Eastern Time. By the way, Below the Mic will be a new time on Below the Mic after September 1st. It will be at 10:30 p.m. We're moving it because I have other stuff going on for the network, but we will still be doing the show live every single Thursday at 10:30 p.m. with all our great guests. Great show. Download our app, guys, if you have an iOS, WWSRN, and Android, the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Wow. Josh. Wow. And Jeff wanted to call the show, and he's got his own thoughts of what I think about what's going on in the world. But we'll get Jeff on a little bit later. But we have our first guest of the show. I was looking forward. Jillian was so excited to get him on. And Jillian is more excited sometimes than I am until I know who we're getting on. But I'm very excited to talk to this kid. We are now talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit Dylan Ferguson. What's going on, Dill?
How's it going, guys? Great to be on here.
Absolutely, man. We're very excited to have you on. And I'll tell you this, Jillian became such a big fan of yours, and she had such a great conversation with you. She told me some interesting things to get into conversation with you now that we have you on the show.
Yeah, no, she was awesome. We, I think the call went a little longer than we both anticipated, but it was good.
That's Jillian for you. She's got a mouthful, but I'll tell you this right now, such a smart kid, and she knows what she's doing, and the fact is she talks to all the different athletes that we have before we talk to them, and she gives us some insight about who we're talking to and who we're going to speak to, and she says you're a nice kid.
Oh, I appreciate that. I could say the same thing about her for sure.
So as you guys know, we are talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit Dylan Ferguson. So Dill, a little bit. I wanted to know a little bit about you. Were you drafted? First of all, were you drafted by the Vegas Knights?
No, I got drafted by Dallas in the 7th round of the entry draft. I never talked to them coming up to the draft, so it was a little surprise by me, a pleasant one for sure. But and then I got traded 60 hours later to Vegas, so here I am.
Now, the Vegas Knights, obviously an expansion team. They've only been around for 3 years. They've been to a Stanley Cup already. It's crazy. Their first season, they have an opportunity. They were my favorites of going and winning the Stanley Cup this year. When you look at the goaltending right now, Marc-Andre Fleury, Lerner right now, and the back and forth banter right now with Marc-Andre Fleury's, agent and the Golden Knights, his agent actually came out and said, you know what, just drop us, just trade us or let us go and release us and we'll go somewhere else next year, because Lerner has been the hot goaltender and they're playing the hot hand right now. I think he's 5-1 or 6-2 in the playoffs right now. What is your thoughts to the whole back and forth banter with the whole Marc-Andre Fleury and Lerner situation?
You know, obviously I've met Mark. I don't know Robin as well, but all I've heard is good things. And Marc-Andre Fleury is a great guy. He's a great teammate. He's a great leader. You know, I think at the end of the day, everyone wants to play. It's just the nature of our sport and who we are. And, you know, Robin has been playing great. And, you know, you read things like the head coach is saying, like they know what they have in the crease as a gift. And they have the confidence to use either guy at any time.
So when you did come to Vegas, what was it like, just that whole experience, not only being with an expansion team, but an expansion team that was so good right away, to see what they did in the Stanley Cup, surprising everybody in such a new city, a new culture, and a tough division with the Pacific Division at the time?
Yeah, that's a good question. Even thinking about it now, I'm really speechless about it. And, you know, just to get the opportunity I did to get up there and be with those guys in that first year and in that inaugural season they had there, it was it's probably something I'll never forget my whole life, right? Like it's not something that happens every day. And, you know, they were called the Golden Misfits, guys that didn't really fit in anywhere else, or so they thought. And they all came together as a team and made a cup run. It's incredible, really.
I like the Golden Knights name than the Krakens. I mean, it's ridiculous. I am not a big fan. Everybody likes the jersey. I'm not a big fan of the jersey. I'm not a big fan of the name. I think they should have thought. I said this, and what I thought they should have called them the Seattle Grunge. I mean, that's where grunge rock came from. That would have made more sense.
Seattle Nirvana, too.
Yeah, Nirvana. All the different groups came from Seattle. Call them the Grunge. Why did they name them the Krakens? It made absolutely no sense. There is no Kraken, so it made absolutely no sense. So, unfortunately, I disagree with the name. But as you guys know, we are talking to the Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit, Dylan Ferguson. Now, Dill, when you look at the goaltending position, and I've said this over and over again about the playoffs, and Ranger fans over here don't understand what is the concept of winning championships. It's great goaltending, timely goaltending, and great defense, something the Rangers have not had over the last 20 years. When you look at the goaltending position, how do you look at the goaltending position going into the playoffs? How do you look at it? How the importance of the goaltending do you think is important for winning a championship?
Oh, it's huge. I think you marked off a lot of really valid points, man. And I think consistency is a massive one. And it's that feeling you get, you know, you gotta be able to pull yourself out of, you know, if you get scored on, I mean, not right now, there's no one in the stands, but you have 19,000 people looking at you like it's your fault, right? Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's just such a mental state that you need to stay in and just have belief in yourself. And I think goaltending in the playoffs, I think everyone knows it. No one's going to argue it. At the end of the day, it really comes down to winning games. Like you can look at the last two games against Vancouver and Vegas here. The first game, Vegas filled the net. Markstrom came back out in the second game, shut the door, and it's the other way around. And that's just been the story for playoffs for generations.
Errol and I did a segment a while back, probably in May, about what are the most important positions in sports. Could you argue the goaltending position, even comparison to other sports, is the most important position out of all of them?
I think anybody arguing with me on that would be wrong, and I feel like I'd have a lot of people agree with me.
Well, I will agree with you because I actually I was a goaltender and I was a top prospect growing up before I hurt my knee. And I believe the most important position in professional sports is goaltending. I don't care what anybody says about the quarterback and the pitching, what wins championships. And you would argue the point that pitching wins championships for baseball. You would argue that the quarterback is as important as the defense and the offensive line is in football. But I believe that if you have a dominant goaltender, a hot goaltender in the playoffs. We saw that with Anaheim years and years ago, and we've seen it. We saw the Vegas Knights, their first year, expansion year. Marc-Andre Fleury was the hottest goaltender going into the playoffs.
A guy who's notoriously bad in the playoffs.
Yeah, well, he won a championship with
he
Pittsburgh.
Did one, yeah, right.
But, I mean, hot goaltending wins championships. Am I right or wrong, Daly?
No, you're 100% right. I will not argue or disagree with that at all.
Well, over the years, and by the way, we are talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit Dylan Ferguson. You don't mind me calling you Dill or Dilly or whatever?
Oh, I love it. Go ahead, call me.
Well, because I played hockey too, and we all had nicknames, and I'm very bad at pronouncing hockey names. Okay, I am the worst. When we interview hockey players, and over the years, I've interviewed some of the top hockey players in the country. I was at the NHL draft. I interviewed Brendan Shanahan and all these guys, and Stevie Yzerman and John Van Beesbrook. I got to interview guys that I looked up to as a kid, and guys that you probably never even got a chance to see live because you're so young. But when you look at the game as a whole, the speed of the game, and being that you're a goaltender, and the goaltending crease and the pads. I mean, the pads are a lot bigger now than it was in the early 2000s and the 90s. What do you see to be different about the game, and what makes the game more exciting now than it did in the 90s?
You know, I had this conversation actually the other day with one of my buddies that I train with here. It's you know, I think everything's just advanced so much, right? The technology, like you talk about the gear, it's back then it was 20 times heavier, and now it's 5 times bigger and not nowhere near as heavy, right? It's, you know, I think it just gives the players the opportunity to move faster, and the game has just evolved so much. You know, there's new dekes, new saves coming out every day that people are doing. You see them online, like on Instagram, like Hey Barber and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really comes down to just, and also the work ethic of these guys. You know, it's the sport has become so much bigger since like the 1980s or 90s, like you talk about, and there's so many more young players getting up and working that much harder to make the NHL.
So we had Justin Richards, who's a Rangers prospect, on the show on Tuesday, and he was mentioning a lot of the same things you were. A lot of the things with the equipment, the stick technology, the goaltending technology, that with the pads and stuff like that. And the other thing he mentioned too is there's a lot of better players that are very close in terms of skill level. There's a lot of good offensive players, especially at a young age now, and there's a lot of offensive depth we see on a lot of these teams. Do you think that has something to do with it as well? Why you're not seeing as much like this guy scores 70 goals and the next highest guy scores 30 or something like that, or 20. Do you think that is the case too? Is it a more depth league now with the young players?
That's a good question. I think there's a lot of young players that kind of get marked as stars right away just because they're young. And, you know, you can look at guys like like a guy like Carter Hart in Philadelphia. I played against growing up in the WHL, and, he was just always such a consistent goalie, and his confidence was always there. And that's honestly, man, that's all I really got to say about that. Nothing else coming to my mind.
As you guys know, we are talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit Dylan Ferguson. Dill, I heard from Jillian, you had a conversation with Matthew Barzal. You played with Matthew Barzal. Are you surprised of the growth and the talent that we see with this kid? He's one of the fastest players in the NHL. He plays in a defense. He plays in a game of Barry Trotz where he demands defense, so he can't open up his game and his repertoire, what we've seen over the years under different coaches. Are you surprised that Barzal is developing a defensive style of game and becoming one of the best young players in the NHL?
No, I don't think so at all. Like you said, Barry Trotz, who's been known as one of the greatest coaches of all time for quite a time now. You know, he knows how he wants his players to play. And I played against Matthew Barzal for a couple of years while he was in the WHL in Seattle. And even then it was like he would just take over games. Him and his line, it wouldn't even be fair. They'd be in your end the whole time. And, you know, I think he's such a skilled player offensively and now growing defensively. In the next year or two here, he's just going to blow up.
When it came to your team, you played one game in an emergency goaltending like role. I looked at the number. You played 9 minutes. You allowed 1 goal, had 1 save. So just that whole experience, what was it like just being at the NHL level, coming in kind of surprisingly? I'm guessing it was later in the game, or maybe it was in the second period or something like that. I don't know the whole experience because I didn't see the game, but what was that whole experience like, and what were some of your biggest takeaways, both in the game and also with your teammates?
By the way, Dill, before you answer that, it's very surprising that he's never seen the game. This kid watches every single game in professional sports. This guy is an analytic phenomenon. You ask him a question, he'll probably be able to answer the goals, the points, whatever, in every single game that every single team in the last 20 years. It's unbelievable what this kid can figure out. I'm surprised. This kid's 25 years old. He's around your age, and he knows statistics from the 90s and the late 80s. It's unbelievable. It is a gift.
It's funny because his name is Dylan. He's the same age as my other brother Ryan, and I have a brother named Dylan. So there you go.
Funny. You got something in common. There you go. Best buds forever.
Cool facts.
But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. The experience was really just surreal. And I remember we were in Edmonton, where they're in the bubble right now, Rogers Place. We were going into the game, and it was just another game.
Hold on. It's not the bubble. It's the hub.
The hub. That's right. The hub.
I'm sorry. I just had to say that.
You're good. And, yeah, it was like I remember the first period, and then the second period, I remember Maxime Lagacé, who was the starter in Vegas at the time, kind of tweaked his back on a play there, and the trainer kind of came over to me and told me to get ready, and I'm sitting there, 19-year-old kid, kind of like, okay, this is it, eh? And, I went down in the hall, kind of dialed it in, tried to get as focused as I could without trying to get my heart rate down because I was so excited. But, yeah, getting in there, I just kind of let go. I remember Patrick Maroon absolutely ran me over in front of the net, just destroyed me. And I think on the next shot on the power play, they got a goal there. So, it all happened really fast. It's a memory again that I'll remember, and a memory that's going to get me back there one day here. So.
Oh, you're definitely going to get back there. I mean, reading a couple of things that I've read about you, when actually Jillian reached out to me and said that we were going to get you on the show, I did a little bit of research yesterday in the last 24 to 40 hours about you, and she gave me some insight on who you are and the type of person that you are, because we interview so many different people. I'm talking about recruits. We're talking about people that were just drafted,
coaches,
or
a lot of
coaches. I mean, we've interviewed so many people, and Jillian's the best at doing it and reaching out to athletes and stuff like that. And she gives us some insight on the players that we're interviewing. And she said, out of all the kids, all the different hockey prospects that we interviewed, that you were very straightforward and honest and cool and collective. So that's what I want to hear, because then I can ask you any question, and I know you're not going to rip my head off or try to high stick me or something, or board me, or try to kill me or something like that. Send me death threats or something.
To the face.
Oh, dude, I've heard enough. I'll tell you a funny story before we get back into your interview. I interviewed somebody 2 years ago, okay? And I remember the interview because I was at an event. I interviewed him, and we got him on the show. The year after. And we had him on the show, and Speedy wasn't there, but we were interviewing, me and my partner, Mikey C., and he remembered me. And he just dropped the hammer on me. This is before Jillian, before anybody. He dropped the hammer on me, told me I'm an ass, and blah, 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 blah. You don't know nothing what you're talking about, blah, blah. He remembered me, and I was like, wow, this guy, what did I say to him? And then all of a sudden, after I got off the phone, I call him back. He tells me, it's like, that's right, you know what, blah, 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 blah. That's payback time. So because of what I said to him a year before, he attacked me on my show a year after. So I try to hold up on what I say to some people, even in person, because I just speak from the heart sometimes, and I think it hurts people's feelings. In professional sports, I know, as an athlete, you got to take the good and the bad. You have to. Absolutely. You have to. The problem is, a lot of these athletes, if you don't kiss their you-know-what, they're going to remember you for the rest of your lives, and they're going to hate you. Albert Bell being one of them, if you remember him. So Albert Bell is one of the greatest baseball players that will never go to the Hall of Fame, because none of the analysts, the broadcasters, anybody interviewed him, because he was an ass to everybody that interviewed him, they didn't vote him into the Hall of Fame. When you look at his numbers, his Hall of Fame numbers, absolutely, the numbers that he had in 8 or 9 years as an MLB player, I don't think could be touched by half the players that ever went to the Hall of Fame. So, unfortunately, you're remembered by what you say, not what you do. Anyways, we are talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit, Dylan Ferguson. Now, Dylan, before I ask you my silly questions, because I do that with all the different people that come on this show, and they are silly and they're a little crazy. When you look at the game of hockey, you look at Gary Bettman. I'm not a big fan of Gary, but I like what he did with the NHL playoffs. I like the hub. I like what he did. I didn't like the fact that the qualifying rounds, whoever gets knocked out, you have an opportunity to get the number one pick, and the Rangers got it, which I disagree. I think the teams that didn't make the playoffs should have gotten the number one pick. Didn't agree with that with Gary Bettman. But everything else, I agree with what he's done. I think it was sensational what he did from all the other commissioners, and I think Gary Bettman's one of the worst commissioners in professional sports. When you look at the game of hockey, do you think hockey's in good hands moving forward? Be honest now. I know you're a hockey player. You look what's going on in professional sports right now, and I'm not going to get into that with injustice of society and anything like that. When you look at the game as a whole, do you see it going and moving forward past maybe baseball or football or basketball in the near future?
I really do. And I look at a team, I know you don't like the name, but Seattle Kraken. So in 2 days, they had a bigger following than the Florida Panthers have had since they opened their social media accounts, I think. So that just shows, even Vegas, I played a preseason game there. It wasn't even a real regular season game, and there was 19,800 people there to see this preseason game in Vegas. It's different, obviously, from Seattle because there's so many tourists and stuff, but I think they're doing the right thing. I really do for growth-wise. And it's starting to show as well.
All right. So your favorite game that you ever played in, the craziest game you ever played in, also your favorite save you ever made, whether it's something super athletic, something like that, that you can remember. Was it a big save, something like that? Your favorite and the craziest one of each of those.
Wow. Putting me on the spot here. Eh? So my favorite save. There's a couple that come to mind, but I'm going to say my last year in Kamloops, I had a 3-0 win against the Spokane Chiefs, and it was probably my best game I've played in my junior career. And my glove was just on fire. And then in the third, I did one kind of reaching back, wide open net, and just absolutely robbed it to kind of seal the shutout. So that was that. You mind swinging those other two questions at me quick?
Yeah, your the favorite game that you ever played in, and the craziest game you ever played in.
Oh, man. I mean, those 9 minutes I played in Edmonton could definitely answer both of those, but I guess it's not a whole game.
You're 21 years old. You have a lot more to go, my friend.
I know. There's not too much in the bank yet, but yeah, I'm gonna say that. Hockey-wise is my craziest memory, and getting into that game, I'm going to say it was the craziest game I've been a part of.
We are talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit Dylan Ferguson. Dill, you grew up rooting for who?
I was a Canucks kid. I was born in Vancouver.
And your Canucks are still in the playoffs. Surprisingly, you knocked off the St. Louis Blues.
A conflict of interest here. Your current team and your childhood team.
Who would have thought? But I'll tell you this right now. I love Vancouver. I love what they have to offer. I think they're one of the up-and-coming teams in the NHL. Young, fast. That kid, Quinn Hughes, who I met 2 years ago in Dallas when he was drafted, the kid is a star. He could turn out to be better than his brother, Jack. I mean, he's been sensational all season long, and he's probably going to win. Well, he can't win Rookie of the Year because it's not his rookie season. But
yeah, he's eligible. He's eligible.
He's still eligible.
Yeah,
so he can win. He can win Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough test with him and Cal McCarr. Both of them have very good numbers offensively this year for a defenseman.
Both of them sensational.
Yeah.
But we do this with all the recruits. We do this with all the different people we have on the show. I ask you silly questions, and I want you to answer a silly answer because the fans want to know. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Boxers or briefs, and why?
Oh, boxers. More room.
More room? You wear a cup, man. You wear a cup. What does it matter if you wear boxers or briefs? That's what I hear.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not thinking about that in the middle of the game, though.
I don't blame you.
Well, you know what? Sometimes people say, I've heard somebody say they don't even wear any boxers or briefs. They go
that
commando.
Be the most honest answer. Honestly. You asked me the question and I answered.
I got it. I got your answer. We are talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltender recruit Dylan Ferguson. Second question is, favorite treats or food to eat before a game?
Oh, before a game?
Mm-hmm.
Pasta, man.
Pasta?
Pasta and chicken.
You don't throw up?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I don't know. Like I eat pretty early before games.
Right.
Like I'll usually eat at like 3:30 for a 7:00 game, and then have a snack every now and then up to it. But
you know what's funny? When you go to the games and the teams, they have all these different foods that you can eat. Even the players do. You go into the locker room and they have like the table set up with like food, you stuffed shells, whatever you want, chicken. It's crazy. I mean, how do these players actually not gain weight and become fat? I mean, I've walked in, I'm like, holy crap. I mean, you have a buffet in here. And I'm looking at the players and they're like, yeah, well, we don't eat any of that stuff. Get out of here. Don't eat it. Half of it's gone. Who is eating it? The referees? I mean, like, seriously. Third question, blondes or brunettes, and why?
Oh, man. I got to be careful with this answer.
I know you have a girlfriend.
Nah.
Oh. Nah.
Nah, he's in Vegas. He's got to be careful with that.
I'm not in Vegas. I wish I was in Vegas. Am I allowed to say like a mix, kind of like an ombre or something?
An ombre. Oh, I like that. That's a good answer. An ombre.
I'm honestly not a big fan of like the platinum blonde.
The platinum blonde. Yeah, I'm not. I would agree with you.
Okay.
An ombre. I never heard that before.
Yeah, that's our first one.
That's the first time I've heard that.
Giving him that answer.
An ombre.
You know what I like?
What do you like?
Well, ombre.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say, you know what I really like, and you have a picture of it.
No.
This is what I like. All right, so we do this, and I ask these silly questions, but here's the question I ask to a lot of people. I like to ask the players, if we hung Speedy on a tree like a piñata, and you had a chance to hit him with any weapon you can, what would be that weapon? Would it be a bat, a hockey stick, a paddle? I mean, look at this guy. He's smiling at you. You have the chance to hit him a couple of times. Free hits. You won't get in trouble. You won't go to jail. What weapon would you hit this kid with?
Like one of those like sword balloons, you know what I mean?
He's trying to protect you.
Look at him, he's way too nice. He doesn't deserve that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow. Dylan's sticking up for you. He's got his ombre and everything like that. I mean, you've got answers galore, my friend.
Congratulations. You're now the #1 favorite guest.
Yeah, I'll take that.
After all the guests that we've had, hundreds of guests that we've had so far in the last, I would say we've interviewed over 150 people in the last 4 months. So, and he says you're his favorite guest. So there you go, Dylan.
I want to hear some of the a couple of the answers that you've gotten.
Well, it has to be of all the sample that he asked the crazy questions to. So your sample isn't initially, because we had one of the first weeks we had one of the guys actually like hung up the phone when he asked the crazy question.
Well, he didn't hang up the phone. It wasn't. So we had the Chicago Bulls play-by-play guy on the show. And I said, okay, I got some silly questions to ask you. And I said, the first question I asked him, I said, if you were to get dressed in women's clothes and go out in public, what would you wear? He was quiet for like 10 seconds. And then he said, you know what, guys, thank you for getting me on the show. I hope your show moves forward, blah, 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 blah. Nice talking to you. Goodbye.
So basically there was a hiatus after that until probably June or something like that.
Wow. I kind of took a hiatus from asking the silly questions until I got the young recruits, because you want to know something. The older analysts, and we've interviewed a lot.
I think it was Shea Bowden. I think was the first one you went at after that with the crazy questions. I think that was early June, and then you started doing it after that.
Yeah, you know what? Because I want to see your personality. I want to see what you're going to come up with and how crazy you could be. I mean, I'm a crazy person, but outside the lines, you can ask anybody. Yeah, I'm a little crazy off air, but all in all, I'm a funny guy. I'm a cool guy. I'm down to earth guy. And if you came up to me and didn't know me, or you asked me to autograph something or talk to you, I'm one of the nicest people you'll ever meet when it comes to that. I will talk to you for hours. I like to have conversations with whoever when it comes to sports or just anything. I think it's I think it's great when somebody comes up to you and wants to talk to you and have a conversation with you. I just think a lot of these analysts, these writers, unfortunately, when you go to these events, especially Stanley Cup Finals, which I was there last year when St. Louis hoisted Stanley Cup, a lot of these analysts, they're just asses. That's what they are. They're complete, utter asses. And being around them and them talking, where are you from? You know where I'm from? I'm not from anywhere you're from, because if I am, I'd shoot myself. That's what I'd say to them. So the different people. You go to Toronto. I'm going to go to Montreal this year for the NHL draft, and I'm going to sit there. And some of these guys, they're just so egotistic and they're just nasty people. You know what I mean? So I'm not nasty. So you know what I do? I completely ignore them, Dill. So that's how I am. No matter if they want to talk to me or not. Yeah, that's the way. You're going to be the next big superstar goaltender. You're going to see him.
That is my plan.
Well, I'll tell you this: when we're going to keep in touch with you, we're going to get you on the show again. I'm rooting for you. I'm actually going to buy, when you get up and you're the number one goaltender on an NHL team, I am going to buy a Dylan Ferguson jersey, and I am going to be your fan. I'm not going to be the team's fan unless you're playing for the Islanders.
You love Vegas's jersey, though.
I really appreciate that, man.
I love Vegas, actually. I'm a Vegas Knight fan. So when they came into the league, I like, first of all, the GM came from the Islanders, okay? He came from the New York Islanders organization. I love what they did. I love how they reconstructed their team, the expansion draft. Everything that they did was so smart. And Marc-Andre Fleury going at the number one pick, being in the expansion draft, the Florida Panthers did the same thing with John Van Beesbrook in 93-94, and that helped that team go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals in 96 because of John Van Beesbrook. Same thing with Marc-Andre Fleury. So I agree. Goaltending wins championships. That's all I'm going to say. Dill, why don't you tell the fans how they can find you on social media?
Yeah, sure. Instagram is Dylan_Ferguson1. I think my Twitter is dferg_98, and that's really all I'm on. So, again, guys, I really, really appreciate the time. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. And we're going to get you on again, and we're going to be pen pals, okay? That's what we're going to do. And when you come up, whenever you're playing in the NHL, my friends, you come up playing for whoever you're playing against the Islanders or Rangers, we're going to take you and your significant other out here in Long Island and show you around the beauty of what Long Island and New York is, because I think people misjudge what New York is all about. When they think of the 5 boroughs, they forget about Long Island and how beautiful Long Island is.
Yeah, that sounds great, man. Let's do it.
Absolutely. Dill, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Absolutely. Jillian, give a shout out to Jillian. Dylan has been fantastic, Jillian. Jillian, you are a rocket. You're a superstar. You're a rocket star. That's what we're going to call her. We're going to get her jersey. We're going to get her jersey. It's going to say Dylan. We're going to say Ferguson, and on the bottom, it's going to say Rocket Superstar. That's what we're going to do. What's your number? How's that sound?
I like it a lot.
Dill, thank you, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
As you guys know, we were just talking to Vegas Golden Knights goaltending recruit Dylan Ferguson. Nice kid. Mm-hmm. And he's your favorite.
Yep.
He's my favorite, too. I like him.
He's up in the ranks. Anyone that protects me, you know where to go.
He does protect you. He did protect you. He absolutely protected you. So I give him a little bit of credit on that one. But Dylan was fantastic. Great kid. Hopefully, he's only 21 years old. So we're going to see him again. We're going to see him again. I think we're going to see him in the NHL. He played one game in the NHL. I think we're going to see him again. So, and when we do, hopefully he'll be playing for the New York Rangers or the New York Islanders or the New Jersey Devils. We'll get to see him a lot.
I wonder if he'll match up with Patrick Maroon again.
Well,
he'll remember that.
Let's hope. I want to see Dylan in the NHL because I think he's a nice kid. And I think he seems so confident. And you want to know something? He's not egotistic. He's not cocky. He's straightforward, and he wants to play. He wants to show what he's worth, and I think the Vegas Knights have themselves a very good young recruit. Jillian, great interview, by the way.
Especially if they do end up trading Fleury. There's an opening there for him right there, if that ends up being the case.
And here comes the interview. Here comes the Dominic Smith interview from last night. Him crying and speaking for what's going on in social injustice. Jeff, I'm waiting for your phone call. Maybe we'll get him on before we have our special guest. So let's go to a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have, at 7:15, we'll be talking to Stanford punter recruit Connor Weselman here on Below the Mic.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
631-965-4990. This is Below the Mic. We are live every single Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New York Eastern Time. Yes, we're back. www.worldwidesportsradio.com. iOS, download the app WWSRN, and Android Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I know Jeff wanted to get on, and unfortunately we had a guest. Well, fortunate we had a guest. Dylan was great. I love that interview, by the way. He was great. Looking forward to getting him on the show again. But Jeff, what's going on, my friend?
How are you, Errol?
I know you wanted to call up and attack me, so I told you I'd get you on for a little while before we get our second guest on. So what would you like to talk about, buddy?
Look, man, you know, I don't want to really outright attack you, right? Because we all need to, like, rise above things and be better in certain instances, right? Mm-hmm. But, you know, you had a previous caller on and you were talking about, you know, the people sitting and the race debate and that kind of thing. And then you mentioned the black guy that shot the white kid in the back of the head.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
What a horrible example that is.
Well, I brought it up because I'll tell you why I brought that up. Because to me, unfortunately, what's going on with social injustice and what's going on in the world, nobody is talking about everything that's going on in the world. There are soldiers dying right now overseas, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it.
There certainly are, and we're not going to stop all crime everywhere, and I understand
that,
right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happened with the guy that shot the kid in the back of the head? The black guy, in your words, the black guy that shot the white kid in the back of the head. What happened to him? Within hours, he was apprehended and arrested.
Right.
Was he not?
Yes.
That's the justice system. That's how it goes.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
You can name case after case after case where these people, they don't get that kind of swift justice. What happened to the cop that knelt on George Floyd's neck? He wasn't arrested for 2 weeks.
You're right.
What's happening with this cop right now? He's out there walking around.
Jeff?
What happened with the cops that shot Breonna Taylor? They're still out there walking free. What happened with the two white guys that shot Ahmaud Arbery?
Yes.
That video was given to cops. They watched it. And it wasn't until a month later when the public saw the video that all of a sudden this outrage came and they were like, well, why haven't you arrested them? And then they were like, oh, shit, we got caught. The justice system is not equal.
I agree with you.
I agree with you. What a terrible example of that.
I brought up an example. What else do you want me to bring up? You want me to bring up how about the two soldiers that were murdered 2 weeks ago? No, nobody talked about that. But it seems like every single thing that they want to talk about with this social injustice system, again, there's a time and a place for everything. You know this, and I know this, Jeff. They should not be using
the time, and this is the time, and this is the place. And yes,
I disagree.
This is how it's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. This is exactly how it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. The players have a platform. By them not playing, what happens? It takes the money out of the pocket, not only out of their pockets, but the pockets of advertisers, sponsors, and the owners. Mm-hmm. Right? The owners are the ones that hold and donate to political people, mayors, governors, presidential candidates, right? If they're losing money, and they're going to actively seek out these politicians, these leaders, and say, dude, we got to make a change because I need to get back to making money. That's how the change is going to happen. These players are affecting policy by affecting the pockets of the powerful.
So let me get this straight. Colin Kaepernick doing what he did over the couple of years ago when he was doing it, and everybody disagreed. A lot of people disagreed with Colin Kaepernick did, except maybe some players. But a lot of people disagreed with Colin Kaepernick did.
But look at what happened with Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick's a perfect example.
Yes,
he knelt because he wanted equality, right? That's what he wanted.
Yes.
But we have a president, whether you like it or don't like it, we have a president that used it as a political football and called him a son of a bitch and said fire him and all these things. Well, turns out Goodell wants to apologize, and turns out he was right. But he was vilified for taking a stance. People like, oh, he shouldn't kneel. Do you know who told him to take a knee?
Who?
A soldier. A soldier said it was more respectful to take a knee than just sitting. So he took the knee because a soldier said for him that was more respectful. So that's what he did.
So why is it
never about disrespect to the flag or anything like that?
But why is it that there are fans right now, if you look at the numbers for the NBA and MLB right now, the numbers are completely low right now. It's the lowest it's been in what? The last, 2 years when it comes to numbers. If you look at the games and the variety of people and the numbers and the ratings right now, they're not good. And one of the reasons why is because of this social injustice situation. And a lot of people disagree on the kneeling, putting Black Lives Matter on the court or whatever they're doing. Go ahead.
Because too many people are viewing this as a political issue. People have taken up sides and it's become a political issue.
I agree with you.
This isn't a political issue. This is about humanity. And if you have any humanity,
tell that to LeBron James. Tell that to LeBron James. Tell that to him.
Right.
Because LeBron James, I'm sorry he's making it a political issue, and he's making it everything else. Not only did he make it,
he's not the one. Listen, he's fighting back. He's not the one that made it a political issue. Who's the one that made it a political issue?
Who?
Donald Trump.
Oh, get out of here.
It started with the Colin Kaepernick thing, did it not?
Yes, but why is LeBron James opening his mouth? Why does it? Jeff, here's the problem. Me and you, we'll go back and forth on this.
Because why is he doing it? Because he's basically the face of the NBA.
Yeah. He thinks
the top people to.
He thinks he's the face of the NBA.
Right. Well, say what you will. He's one of the most popular players in the NBA.
He's the popular player in the NBA. He is the popular player in the NBA.
Right. So, listen, if this were, I don't know, name the guy that's at the end of the bench for the Knicks, right? People wouldn't care if it was
still don't.
Frank Ntilikina. No, but you know what I'm saying? Like, they wouldn't care if it was Frank Ntilikina that was speaking out. They'd be like, dude, you don't matter. Be quiet.
Right.
This is Giannis. This is Harden. This is Chris Paul. This is LeBron. These are the biggest names in the game saying we want to affect change. And that's why it matters. Like, I think LeBron sees himself as owing it to the rest of the league for him to be a guy.
LeBron is all up, and you know this, and I know this. LeBron is all about his pockets, his money, and his product. If he speaks up and the players agree with him, and all the social injustice backs him up, or what he says and what he thinks, it puts more money in his pocket. It does. It does. Fans.
How would it have put
more fans?
How would it have put more money in his pocket to sit out the rest of the season and not get a paycheck?
Come on, man. Do you really think LeBron James cares about his salary in the NBA when he's making, I don't know, he had a $110 million contract with 7-Up.
Okay. No. Right. He's still going to get his endorsements and things like that. How is it putting, and this is your words, it's going to put more money in his pocket. Well, if he's not getting his 20
endorsements,
million, 30 million a year.
Endorsements. He'll get more endorsements from different organizations because he stands up and he says what he says and sticks up for whatever he stands for. That's the problem right now in this social injustice thing. I don't think they're doing it for the right reasons. Some of them are. I will admit that. Some of them are. And some of them, they're just doing.
Your opinion on LeBron. Do you think your outside of this issue? You weren't really a LeBron James fan, and you didn't really like him anyways. Do you think that is
I like
somehow
LeBron James.
shading your opinion towards?
I like LeBron James.
I've never heard you say anything good about him.
Speedy, do I like LeBron James?
He does. He really criticizes him in comparison to other eras of basketball players, but he does praise LeBron James in comparison to 2000s basketball players.
I think he's the best basketball player we've seen since Jordan. And I'll say that again.
I think that's why it's important that he's the one speaking out, though, right? Because he's the face of the league. Say what you want. He's been the best player in the league now for, I don't know, what's he
20 years
now? 12, 15,
almost 20 years.
20, right.
17 years.
So I mean, this is big. This would have been like, could you have imagined if this had happened in the 90s and look at the you watched The Last Dance. Look at the flack that Michael Jordan caught for not speaking out to help a politician or something like that. He caught a bunch of crap from a lot
he
of
did,
people,
and
right?
he did, and the long run. And by the way, Isaiah Thomas needs to shut his friggin' mouth. Okay, I'm so sick and tired of him. He came out and said that he believes that LeBron James is a better player than Michael Jordan. I don't know what he's smoking. I don't know what he sees, but he's out of his damn mind. Okay, Isaiah Thomas needs to shut his mouth. I'm just saying. I had to say that. I'm sorry. We have to get our guest, but go ahead. I'm sorry, Jeff.
But that's what it is. It's about humanity. Like these instances of these people being killed and there being no repercussions for the people that are killing them. Like did Armand Arbery, who's out jogging, deserve to be hunted down and shot?
No.
And then the police got the video a month before we saw it and decided, oh, screw it, just let it go, right? And then when the world saw the video, he was arrested within 2 days.
It's just
right?
in my
those people got those people.
I
got
agree
a
with
month.
you. I agree with you, Jeff. I just think this is the wrong way of doing it on an NBA or an NHL or an NFL or MLB
they're trying
platform.
to affect change. Listen, they're trying to affect change with the only power that they have. If they just went and marched, that's not utilizing their power.
All right, go on Channel
the
2, go on
extent.
Channel 4, by where you are. Take it out of your time, your platform, and go and speak to the people in different parts of your state or wherever you are. Or go on ESPN and talk on ESPN. Don't do it on a platform where you really, to me, unfortunately, you have no right. So that's just me. They
do have a right. They're basically a partner in the league.
They are. But guess what? They get paid.
49% of the revenue.
They get paid. They get paid for it. They get paid. Do you think LeBron James would have made all those millions of dollars if he didn't play in the NBA? No, the answer is no. And the NBA gave him that money. The NBA gave him that money.
But at the end of the day, the NBA owners could go, we're sick of it, and we're just going to hire scabs. And guess what? Then no one would really watch because you'd be getting a super inferior product. They're affecting change with the only tool that they have.
I got you.
Or listen, or they feel that they're going to be affecting change with the only tool that they have. Who knows if change is coming? I mean, I hope some kind of change is coming. I would like the world to get back to the way I remember, when the only thing that we all gathered around to hate was the Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. The beef. Oh man.
Oh, dude, they're the most insufferable people on the planet. Like I want the world to just get back to that, right? Like that would be terrific, but unfortunately, you're still you had said it earlier. Every different day, we're seeing new instances pop up and things like that of just horrible things.
Absolutely.
You saw it, last night or the night before in Wisconsin with that kid with the AR-15 and all of that kind of stuff. It's just getting out of hand. Dude, we all need to take a breath and take a little bit of air out of the ball. It's getting a little too tight out here.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jeff. I do. Jeff, thanks.
But I'm not gonna judge any of these players for using the tools that they have to try to affect change.
You have a right.
I think we all
you have a right to your own opinion.
But I think that we all agree that a change needs to happen.
Absolutely.
Right? I don't know what the answer is. I'm not saying I have the answer or know what the answer is, but something needs to change, and they're trying to affect that.
I agree with everything you said. I have a different opinion towards using that platform to do it. But I agree with you. I think there has to be change. There has to be something that's going to change what's going on in the world, because even what you see or what you think to see, you obviously don't know. And there's so much that we don't know, because we weren't around in the 60s and we weren't around in the 50s when it was really, really bad. And I don't want it to get to that point where we're fighting amongst each other. When you look at the world, there's other countries we should be fighting and protecting ourselves from. So, Jeff, thank you for calling, buddy.
I mean, Errol, I appreciate the time. Speedy, I'm not going to tell you suck today because I haven't talked to you in a little while. Borderline miss you. Borderline. Don't ruin it by saying something.
No, I'll accept it. I'm surprised it was even that much.
and let's just get back to hating the Dallas Cowboys. Can we all hate the Dallas Cowboys again?
We'll do that. Beeve, it's hate the Dallas Cowboys today. Anyways, thanks, Jeff.
All right, guys, enjoy.
Jeff from Tampa, ladies and gentlemen. As we're not going to a break, we're going to put Connor on the phone, and we're going to get him on right away. But I just want to say I really appreciate Jeff calling the show, because I think Jeff's thoughts and his opinions they vary. You know what I mean? I think he has every right to be and say what he feels and what's going on in the world. To me, I'm heartbroken on what people are saying, and really some of these athletes and what they're saying. I don't think they're helping the product and helping the sport by taking a shot at what's going on in the world. I think that doing it on their own time and their own platform would make it better in that situation. So, unfortunately, that's where we're at. Anyways, we have our second guest of the show. We are now talking to Stanford punter recruit Connor Weselman. What's going on, Connor?
How's it going? I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me on.
I'm sorry we were a little too late. We had Jeff from Tampa. He had his own thoughts to what's going on in the social injustice situation. So how are you and your family doing with this pandemic?
We are doing well. I don't think any one of us have had it, the virus. So, we're doing our part, social distancing, wearing masks. So it's going well.
So you're hiding under your bed, like I've been doing, you're not sleeping on the bed, you're sleeping under the bed, because you're afraid that COVID's going to attack you like a dog.
No, just playing it pretty safe out in public, but, I know it's not going to fall from the sky and infect me. So.
Well, we don't know because everything that you heard, you can get it on your shoe. If you touch your shoe and you wipe your forehead, you got it. So anything's possible. I mean, with everything with this virus, this disease, and hopefully, it seems like in the next couple of months we're going to have a vaccine, and hopefully this will we can move forward to somewhat of a normal life, if that's what we call it.
Yeah.
We have somewhat of a normal life. We are talking to Stanford punter and recruit Connor Weselman. Now, Connor, tell us a little bit about your recruitment. I'm sure there was a lot of different teams interested in bringing you on their college organization. How did they recruit you? When they came in, how did they talk you into going to Stanford, besides the fact that it's one of the best academic schools in the country?
Well, they didn't really have to talk me into going to Stanford that much, just because, I study really hard. Academics are, huge for me and my family. So once they offered the scholarship, it didn't really take me long to decide that's where I wanted to go. But as far as my recruitment process, so as a kicker and a punter, it starts pretty late. So I think I got my first preferred walk-on offer back in March or April, whereas like people in my grade in other positions would be like getting recruited much earlier. And so then it started kind of build from there. This summer was supposed to be pretty important. We were going to have, all like the camps and stuff because, the coaches really want you at camp this summer going into your senior year because you make so much improvements from your junior year to that summer. So they want to see where you're at. So not having the camps this year hurt a little bit, no doubt. And so a lot of coaches were then, offering preferred walk-on opportunities just because they want to see you kick in person, and they couldn't. So I had a lot of those opportunities, but including Stanford, actually, they had offered me a preferred walk-on to start. And then I had a great relationship with special teams coordinator, Coach Alomar. I talked to him a lot. One day he called me up and he was like, "Hey, we're going to offer you a full scholarship." And there was a lot of yelling in my house.
I'm sure it was.
Yeah. So
I could only imagine what it cost to go to Stanford every semester. Probably around 50,000, 60,000, if I could guess. Maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah, something around that. I'm honestly
it's crazy.
Not too sure, but.
So you being from the South. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, were you saying something?
Go ahead. No.
All right.
No.
So you being from the South, you're from Atlanta. You actually got recruited by two schools a little closer, but not Georgia necessarily, but North Carolina State and Duke both recruited you in that essence. You also had two Pac-12 offers with Stanford, like you ended up going to. So what was specifically about Stanford? Was it David Shaw? Was it, like Errol was saying, was it academics? Is it something that maybe you plan on going forward?
Duke's a good academic school.
It is too. Right. No, I know that. I'm saying something specific with their academics, whatever he wants to do post football, maybe if he does desire that. So What was the biggest decision with Stanford that caused you to pick it, despite it not being local?
Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. We actually have sent, from my high school, we sent a kicker to Duke and a punter as a walk-on to Stanford. So I had connections to both of the schools. So I was talking to both guys about, what the team was like and the school and all of that. But Stanford, what really stuck out to me was, well, the weather. You can't get any better weather to punt in than 70 degrees and sunny every day. So that was really, really appealing to me. And I mean, Duke has great weather as well. I mean, Southeast is great. But I think when it came down to it, you couldn't really pass up a scholarship to Stanford. Duke was a preferred walk-on opportunity. And so when the scholarship came to Stanford, I decided I just had to take it.
Yeah, you backstroked. That's what you did. I would be doing the same thing you'd be doing. Stanford offers me a scholarship. Okay, and where do I sign? We are talking to Stanford punter recruit Connor Weselman. Now, Connor, David Shaw is very well known, not only in the NCAA, but in the NFL. A lot of people said 3-4 years ago, this guy was the next up-and-coming, big-time head coach prospect where every team wanted to interview him. Over the last couple of years, people have taken a step back about David and said that maybe he fits the college game. He doesn't fit the NFL game. When you look at his game and the way he coaches and his personality, for what you know of him, do you see him as an NFL coach in the future, or do you see him staying with Stanford and just sticking to college football?
Let's see. I mean, so in my conversations with him, I definitely think that he's a great coach, especially just, being at Stanford. He can help balance the academics and the football because it is a very difficult school.
He went to Stanford, right?
So
he did. He went he went to Stanford, yes.
Mm-hmm. So I really like that about him as a college coach. Just because that's really important. I mean, going to Stanford, but just being a student athlete in general, helping work practice around classes and tests and midterms and all that. I really like that. As far as being, a good college coach versus a good NFL coach, I couldn't really tell you. I'm not really,
It's all right. It's all right, man. It's all right. It's all right.
About that.
It's all right. I'm trying to get some kind of information out of you, but that's okay. I'm not going to throw you under the bus, but I think David is – I still think he could be in the NFL. I think he could be a good NFL coach. Mm-hmm. A lot of people just kind of – just like Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh went from one of the best NFL coaches to one of the worst NCAA college coaches in all of college football. With the blink of an eye. This guy was...
Who previously coached Stanford.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy that everybody loved and everybody thought he was the next big thing going to college football. He hasn't won anything.
And he still can't beat Ohio State.
Can't beat Ohio State, and this is a guy that's recruited some of the best recruits in the country for the last, 3-4 years, and he still can't get over the hump. So when you look at the game and the transition of what college football is to the NFL, you can see the difference. Maybe the NFL came a little bit easier to him than college football, and it's crazy to see him. It's crazy to say because the NFL, all these guys from college go to the NFL, and the game is a little bit faster. So I don't understand it. I really don't. But again, I think David Shaw is. I think David Shaw would be a better NFL coach, in the long run if he gets the opportunity. As you guys know, we are talking to Stanford punter recruit Connor Weselman.
So continuing with Shaw, he's one of the better coaches in college football, but also one of the most unique where he's more defensive and special teams minded, which is not normally something you see in the Pac-12. We have we had Chris Peterson with Washington, who just stepped away from Washington, who was a great defensive coach. And now you have Herm Edwards at Arizona State, whose defense was really good last year for much of the season. But again, it's mostly known as an offensive league in terms of the conference. So what do you think? Did that help make your decision that he would emphasize that more with Shaw, emphasize your game in special teams especially, and also the defensive players they've had, where they've had some good ones, and team defenses as well?
Definitely. I think that was a really big part. I definitely wanted a school that emphasized special teams a lot. And one of the things that I like is that Coach Alomar, the special teams coordinator, all he does is coach special teams. And Coach Shaw hired him for a reason. So, you know, having him be able to coach me at all my practices, he's already Coach Alomar is already reviewing my film with me, giving me some tips about how to help me in the upcoming season, and just really helping me perfect my form before I even get there. So the fact that Coach Shaw knew to hire Coach Alomar and the emphasis on special teams is really big, and one of the reasons why I'm really excited about playing at Stanford.
Connor, when you look at the punting position, I don't think people realize how important the position is. In the NFL, you saw the Jets in the 7th round draft the best punter in the draft. Some people say he has the best leg they've ever seen. When you look at the position now with some of you young guys, I've seen some of you guys kick it 80, 90, even 100 yards. It's unbelievable, the leg power you guys have. And you look at you guys are tall, lengthy, and skinny. And where does the power come from? And then I'm amazed because I watch it, and I've tried to punt a ball. I've tried it so many times. It's not as easy as it looks, okay? It's just not. And the way you guys get the height, and the way you guys you guys know where the ball is going to land. It's pretty, it's really incredible what you guys do. You think the quarterback position and the way they throw the ball and how accurate they are. Watch these kickers. They can kick the ball anywhere, and they know where it's going to fall if they kick it right. So I think it's incredible. When you look at the punting position, do you feel that a lot of people look at the punting position as just a fill-in position, or do you think that people are starting to realize that the punting position is as important, especially in professional football, on where you're going to situate yourself and where you're going to put yourself on a 10-yard line or the 20-yard line? It makes an importance of the game. Do you see that in the punting position as well as the quarterback position?
Definitely. I mean, I think it's definitely growing in terms of, you know, how much people value it, because it is very difficult, and definitely just knowing where it's going to land when you're pinning people deep and going directional, because that's a huge part of punting is where you can place the ball on the sideline. I think people now that, you know, punters are getting better and growing and starting from a younger age, they're starting to realize the importance of the position. They're starting to appreciate how much we work, and because, you know, a lot of kickers and punters have to earn the respect of their team, because, you know, they think, okay, yeah, you're over to the sideline, you know, just kicking and doing drops and drill work and stretching. You don't really practice as hard as we do. And then, you know, that's where I have to go into the weight room and, you know, try to, you know, beat these guys out in weight, and I have to go out on the field.
Hold on. How much could you lift? Come on.
So yesterday I cleaned 220. Today I benched 235.
Wow. How much do you weigh?
I weigh about 195 right now.
Wow, you're a lot bigger than I thought. How tall are you?
I'm 6'3", 6'4".
Oh, you're tall. A tall guy.
Yes.
And all your power comes from your legs. I know that. I've met a lot of kickers before in person. Couple of Jets, couple of Giants. It's amazing how big your legs are. You look at them, you stand right next to them. They're tall, but they got no meat whatsoever on them. And then you look at them and Then you look at their legs. I'm like, they're like tree trunks, and they can kick the ball. It's amazing. It really is. I'm amazed when I watch Drew Brees throw the ball, and he could throw it through these little nets and stuff like that. And then I watch a kicker, a punter, go on the field and tell you where the ball is going to land, on the 10, on the 9, where it's going to spin, where is it going to drop, how is it going to spin, blah, 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 blah. It's amazing. It really is. It's an art. It's an art form, and it takes years and years. It takes years and years to figure it out. I'll tell you this. I would be a terrible kicker. I would be a terrible quarterback. I was a good corner and a good wide receiver somewhat, but not playing Division I NCAA. It's an amazing thing when you know that you're a walk-on, Connor, and you got a full scholarship from Stanford being a walk-on. That is an incredible story, and I think a lot of people don't understand. When somebody offers you a full scholarship to a collegiate school as big and as known as Stanford to play football when you weren't even scouted, you weren't even recruited, you were a walk-on. Mm-hmm. You were a walk-on. And that is a story by itself, and that's an amazing accomplishment. Even if you don't do anything else, if you don't play in the NFL, the fact that you're going to get a college education for free at Stanford, kicking for one of the best schools, the number 16th ranked recruiting class in the country, is pretty amazing, getting one of those scholarships.
Definitely. And like, as I said before, the academics is a big part of it. And so like being able to like come out of Stanford come out of college with a Stanford degree, is absolutely huge.
So, what do you prioritize most with your game, with the punting game? Obviously, some go for power, some go for accuracy. Errol's talking about pinning him on the sidelines. You try to get it away from the returners a lot of the time. What do you prioritize most when you kick the ball?
So definitely direction. As I said, I try to get it on the sideline as close to the sideline as possible on every punt. When I practice, I don't practice just kicking it straight down the field. I practice going to the sideline, going left and right, and then get off time. You have 4 or 5, however many guys who are on the line that are big and want to hurt you and take that ball right off your foot. And you are in a bad position to get hit. So getting that ball off as fast as you can and getting it right on the sideline with like then next, I guess, is good hang time. So, the returners can get down there, is huge. So I guess in order, I'd go direction, get off, hang time.
I think when I've learned through punters that we've interviewed, it's all about the hang time, because the longer you can keep the ball in the air, the easier it is where you can get to, you can get the players to get to the ball before, you know what I mean? So I think to me, it's all about the hang time. And I watched the kid Man who was drafted by the New York Jets, and they said his hang time, he can keep the ball in the air for like 6 or 7 seconds. I mean, could you imagine keeping a ball 6 or 7 seconds to get a special teams team to run down the field? And these guys can run a 40 and 4.3, 4.4. Some of these guys, that's more than enough time to get down the field if you can keep the ball, the hang time, for at least 6 seconds. It's incredible how high you can kick the ball. I mean, I saw a video that he kicked the ball in the air, and you can count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. It was like 6.5 seconds before it hit the ground. It's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah. I mean, I don't care what anybody says. That is, when you have a weapon like that, that is an advantage for you and your special teams. Yeah. It's an advantage for you. And what is your hang time? What do you clock it out? Is it 4 seconds, 4.5 seconds? Did you ever clock your hang time?
Oh yeah, definitely. And back when I said like those are my rankings, those are all very close.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm going for all of those. So I'd say like when I'm in a practice, I like to average around 4.7, 4.6 hang time, seconds of hang time, just because I know my punts typically go 45, 46, 47 yards. Mm-hmm. So if you want to think about it, like what a good punt would be, you want to like match the distance with the hang time. So like 47, 4.7. So I mean, I hit a lot of punts that are over 5 seconds. I think my highest one was like 5.4, 5.5 or something like that.
Wow.
yeah, I was pretty proud when I hit that.
Yeah, I would be. I want to see if I could throw Speedy in the air. If I could throw Speedy in the air and see how long it would take him to hit the ground. I don't think it'd be too long. What do you think, Speedy?
Probably wouldn't be. I'm smaller.
He's smaller. Maybe we'll have Connor kick you, and we'll see how high you can get. I'm just kidding. Sorry, Connor. I like messing around with him. I love messing around with him. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Connor.
Oh, so just getting in the high fours, above 4 or 5,
right.
Averaging that is perfect, especially in a game. Getting over 5 seconds, even better. That's great.
As you guys know, we are talking to Stanford punter recruit Connor Weselman. Now, Connor, I know a lot of other athletes, they train in other sports. Off season, there are certain MMA, there's certain NFL players that do MMA. Some of them do boxing. Some of them, play badminton. I mean, is there any other sport besides football that you do in the off season that, help you stay in shape? Is there something besides working out? Because working out, it's a must, and that you got to train. That coaches are going to tell you, you got to spend as much time in the weight room as you do on the field. They make you do that. They purposely push you to do that. Is there anything else you do besides extracurricular activities that you need to do that makes you a little bit more interesting and intriguing?
Yeah. So in the winter, I swim.
Oh, okay.
So my high school, we just won state the past 2 years. I was on that state team. So that was fun, and gets your core super nice and strong, and that's really important for kicking. As well as just every muscle in your body gets it strong because swimming is hard.
So Stanford has another Michael Phelps. Is that what we're saying? Is that what you're saying right now?
No.
Katie Ledecky's already there.
No.
But it's definitely helpful for football. And then in the spring, I play soccer. I'm a goalie. So I guess the punting's actually kind of different. And I definitely like football, punting better.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoy playing soccer. I can do pretty far goal kicks. I'm long, so I can dive and get good reach as a goalie. And then freshman and sophomore year, I actually did track, so I was a jumper. So that also helps my single leg strength for kicking.
That'll help you in the combine. That'll help you at the combine, my friend. So don't worry about that. Well, I'll tell you this. I mean, I've seen some punters at the combine do some things that other players couldn't do. I mean, it is – some of you guys are so athletic. It's incredible.
Yeah, the Arizona State punter, I forget his name, he benched a lot more than some of the defensive linemen did.
It's crazy.
At that combine.
It's crazy. It really is crazy what you guys do. And I really appreciate the craft and the art of kicking, and I didn't realize how important kicking was until I watched the Saints when they won the Super Bowl and what their punter did in the playoffs all the way to the Super Bowl when they played Indianapolis. He absolutely dominated the game. I believe the punter, to me, was the player of the game. He was the MVP of the game with the Saints against the Indianapolis Colts. He was the best player on the field. I mean, look how he positioned the Saints throughout the game. It was incredible what he did. So I think punting is so important. And I don't think people realize how important it is until you actually talk to these punters and actually go on a field and practice and actually watch them kick the ball. And I'm like, oh, my God. Look how high that ball went, man. It's incredible. It really is. Again, it's just like a slap shot. You don't realize when a person's at the point and he hits the puck and it hits the net, how fast it is until they clock it. And then you say it's like 102 miles per hour at the blue line, blue line to goal. It's like 102 miles per hour. That's a hard shot. You know what I mean? It's just it's incredible. It really is. I just don't think people realize why athletes make as much money as they do, and why people have to look at the sport and the athletic ability that these kids have to have when they step on the court or step on the field or step on the ice. It's incredible. It really is, Connor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm also, stretching and doing drill work every night too. So, I mean, there's that part that's like not practice, but it's just maintaining your body so you can swing up and through the ball. And then, like, I mean, you have to have the perfect drop so that it hits your foot perfectly when you're swinging through to then be, a spiral, high.
Technique.
It has to be perfect placement.
It's all about technique. They say that all the time. They say that all the time.
So, just doing that every night.
Yeah. Just like smacking Speedy in the back of the head during a live show. That deserves technique. I mean, when I do it, when people watch it, it's like, wow. I mean, that was pretty quick. I mean, it's technique every single time. It's part of my repertoire. You know what I mean? What do you think, Speedy?
Yeah,
I'm sure it is.
So, Connor, we like to do this with recruits, okay? So I ask you a couple of silly questions, and you can give me a silly answer. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1. Boxers or briefs, and why?
Briefs.
Okay.
I don't like, I like being loose, but like, I don't know, sometimes it kind of like ride up in the shorts. I don't really like that.
No, I don't like it either, especially when it sticks to the leg. You're a kicker. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, man. Could you imagine that?
You don't want, like, yeah, I mean, you don't necessarily, like, want anything, like, too loose when you're, like, swinging your leg as hard as you can. So.
I agree with you, man. And I'm not even a kicker. Oh, man. Question number 2. Favorite snack to eat before a game and why?
I like sandwiches. Any kind, subs, hot sandwiches, peanut butter jelly, especially like before one of the kicking competitions. I eat sandwiches and probably 2 of them. And then before a game, I load up on a lot of pasta and salad around like 3 because that's when we have pregame meal. And I'll probably also eat like a sandwich and a banana before I go out and at halftime.
So you have you and Dylan Ferguson, the hockey recruit from the Golden Knights. You guys like the same thing. You like pasta before games. Interesting, very interesting. Electrolytes, but
a West Coast thing.
It must be a West Coast thing because us New Yorkers, even though we love our pasta,
you guys love your pasta. Yeah.
I will not eat any pasta before a game, and I was an athlete too because every time I did that before the game, I'm throwing up. So I try to eat it light, my friend. Eat it light. No pasta for me. That's too thick for me. Anyways, question number 3: blondes or brunettes, and why?
I like blondes. Typically, or just because, like, I mean, I'm a blonde, so, gotta respect that.
Okay.
But then just, oh, no. I like it better, I guess.
There's no right or wrong answer.
Really,
He's prideful.
But, I mean, it also doesn't really, like, matter sometimes. It's just, like, I don't know. Either or, really, but blonde's kind of a little above.
All right, so this is a new question, okay? This is a new question for you. You're the first person I'm going to ask this question for. You ready?
All right.
In order, who would you date first? In order, you ready?
Yes.
Jennifer Lopez, Ben Affleck, Cindy Lauper, Jennifer Love Hewitt. In order, who would you date first?
What was the last one? Sorry.
Jennifer Love Hewitt. So you have first one, Jennifer Lopez. Number 2, Ben Affleck. Number 3, Cindy Lauper. And number 4, Jennifer Love Hewitt. In order, who would you date first to last?
Well, I guess I'd have to be strategic. So get Ben Affleck out of the way. So first.
So you so you got Ben first. Oh, so Ben's number 1.
Yeah. And then I guess end on Jennifer Lopez. And then on the 2 in between is just like I don't know, whichever comes first.
But that's weird. The Stanford grad, the guy that's going to Stanford, he wanted to be strategic. So the first person he picked out of all those guys is girls and guys is Ben Affleck.
Gets it over with.
So, to get it over with, Ben Affleck would be his first. J-Lo would be his second. And then it doesn't matter who the other two are. Oh, last. Jennifer last. I got it. You wanted to save the best for last. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's a strategic order.
So there you go. From the Stanford guy. And by the way, guys, if you don't know what Stanford is one of the top 4 schools, academic schools in the country. You're talking about Princeton, Harvard, Stanford, Duke. These are some of the best schools. You have to have like a 4.0 average. You have to be dead smart. And to be a walk-on and get a full scholarship, I mean, that's a story by itself. It really is. That's an incredible story, and you should be proud of yourself, Connor. You really should.
Thank you.
And that's coming from me. And I didn't go to Stanford. I didn't go to Duke, and I didn't go to Princeton or Harvard. I'm not that smart, okay? I know a lot of smart people, but I am not that smart. So there you go. He's smarter. I wouldn't say he's smarter than me, but I would say book smart. I think he would be. What do you think, Speedy?
Book smart, sure, yeah.
Well, wait a second. How would you know you were book smarter than me?
No, I don't know. I'm saying I could.
But why would you say yes? Definitely.
I said sure, not yes.
See that, Connor? You see that? He's misunderstanding me.
I did not say the word definitely.
You see that? He's probably trying to tell you that I'm
sure.
stupid.
I
I'm
could
telling
be.
you I'm stupid.
No.
See that, Connor? I'm stupid. Stupid by Speedy Petey, Anyways, Connor, thank you for joining us. And if there is a season, and if there isn't next year, there's a season, I would love to get you on to talk a little Stanford football, your thoughts of where Stanford is, where they're ranked. And I want you to be a friend of the show. So I'm very happy to have you on the show. It's an incredible story. And a shout out to Jillian, because you are another one, another candidate she reached out to. And she said she's very proud of you guys. When she reaches out to you and she tells me she got a hold of another recruit, and she is incredible. She really is. And if you ever talk to her, which you have, her story too is amazing. It really is. And Jillian, thank you for getting Connor on the show and Dylan on the show. You're doing a great job. So, Connor, why don't you tell the fans how they could find you on social media, my friend?
All right. My Twitter is Weselman. It's Weselman. And my Instagram, I think it was on I don't have it memorized. I think it's like CUS something.
I'll tell you what. This is what you do. When we send you the clips of the interview, and when you want to post it on your social media, send it to WWSRN_radio, and people will know how they find you. How's that sound?
All right, sounds good.
Yeah, well, there you go, man. I'm helping you out, man. So all the fans can get to know Connor Weselman. And Connor, thank you for joining us. You were great. I didn't ask you the question on if we hung Speedy to a tree, what would you hit him with?
God.
I didn't ask you that, so that's a good thing. But, maybe next time, okay?
All right.
Anyways, say hello to your family, stay safe, and we'll talk to you very, very soon, Connor.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Absolutely. Connor Weselman, and if you guys don't know him, you can hear the replay. Great kid, smart kid. Gave us some great insight of Stanford football, how he got into Stanford, and really the fact that he was a walk-on to Stanford is an amazing story.
Hard to do.
Hard to do. It's almost impossible to do.
Right.
I mean, hard to do. To get into their school is hard. Then to walk on one of the best collegiate football schools in the country, walk on with one of the greatest coaches in college football, and David Shaw, and practically sell him on your kicking ability. That is an incredible story. It really is. I don't care what anybody says. I think it's an incredible story, and he deserves a lot of credit, and that by itself is a great accomplishment to get a Stanford scholarship and really get a chance to have a Stanford education for the rest of his life. That's amazing. That is an amazing story.
We're playing for one of the best college coaches right now still. I mean,
he is
he's
top 5.
You're right. He's lost a little bit lately. We were talking about it. He's lost a little bit
His
lately.
recruiting class, it's not.
Yeah, I think he's had more like
This
7
year
and
it's
7
been
seasons, 8 and 6 seasons lately.
Yeah.
With this the way the
His
Stanford's,
recruiting class was rated 16th in the country.
So that's a good sign.
Good.
Yeah, that's a good sign. I think the Pac-12 as a whole has lost a lot of recruiting in the past, and I think that has hurt them as a whole as well. So he hasn't been able to have that same kind of game. Plus, I didn't ask about it. Usually I ask the Pac-12 guys about it, but the Pac-12 parody, the Pac-12 After Dark crazy games, they always get you. And I'm sure
you get me too, man. I wonder if you're wearing underwear today. Are you wearing underwear?
I am wearing underwear
today.
Are
you sure? Are you wearing tighty whities, man thong? What are you wearing?
Really?
None
of the above.
Well, you just said you were wearing underwear. What kind of underwear are you wearing?
Not any of those.
So are you wearing boxers? Are you a boxer guy?
No, I'm not boxers. I think they're boxer briefs. This one.
You like it, so you like it, close to your legs. You like it sticking to your legs.
It's probably not close to my.
Well, you have a lot of fur over there, right?
I have a lot of fur. What are you implying? I'm freaking Bigfoot.
I don't know, man. What you tell me, you might be over there. Anyway,
I wouldn't reveal it to you if I was Bigfoot.
Well, I don't want you to reveal it to me. You want me to throw up? I mean, seriously. Anyways, that's it for
I
our
don't think
show.
you would throw up. You would be the only person who knows that I'm Bigfoot. If I was Bigfoot, I think you would want to embrace that and keep it a secret.
How would you be Bigfoot?
I don't know.
You would be Bigfoot in your pants or Bigfoot somewhere else?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Tough to tell. You were the one who brought up the hair.
You're the one who told me you don't shave. Is that what you told me?
What do you mean I don't shave? I've shaved before.
That's not where I'm telling you. I'm not talking about your face.
Shaved there, but
that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, I haven't shaved there. Fine.
Yeah, he has an Amazon rainforest, ladies and gentlemen. That's what he has got.
All right, so Bigfoot is to be found in the Amazon rainforest.
Well, I don't know with you. It might be. I mean, they haven't found him, so maybe he is.
Found him. So according to Errol, he's in the Amazon rainforest. Everyone go investigate.
Well, there you go. And if not, you can go in Speedy's pants. There you go. Anyways, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen.
Bigfoot wouldn't fit there, but okay.
How do you know?
Really?
I mean,
you're implying that Bigfoot is tiny?
I didn't say he was tiny, but who knows what you have hidden over there, God. Anyways, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. As you know, this is Below the Mic. We are live every single Thursday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. New York Eastern Time. Next week, it will be a new week and a new time.
The original Below the Mic time.
Yes, at 10:30 p.m., me and Speedy will be doing the show. It will be a late night show. I missed most of the show, but you are way off, Errol. Well, Carl, ladies and gentlemen, I am way off all the time. And if you want to strike, you want to hit through the fence, you might as well hit through the fence, and that's what I do, buddy.
What is he way off about is the question. Is he way off about fighting Bigfoot?
Well, that too. I mean, probably.
Carl, we'd like some information if you know any.
Not playing can make a difference. Well, he's saying not playing can make it. That's his opinion. In my opinion.
Oh, he's talking about what?
Yeah, I disagree. I disagree. Right. But everybody has a right of their own opinion. And Carl, you have your right. Listen to the show. Listen to the replay, Carl. If you missed the show, Carl's one of our oldest fans, and I love Carl. And he's based out of Tampa, Florida. He's a teacher over there. He's a coach over there. Love the guy. He's got some good insight. I just disagree with him on the fact that not playing can change anything. So, I don't think it's going to change anything.
So basically, with him being from Tampa, we need him and Jeff on the phone at the same time.
I don't know about that. Jeff would probably conquer the time on the phone. But Carl, I love you, man, and definitely listen to the replay of the show. If you haven't downloaded the app, you go to iOS WWSRN on the Android Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Tomorrow we have shows lined up for you. We have the Wise Guys on tomorrow. Who else do we have tomorrow?
That's it. There's just Wise Guys.
Just Wise Guys tomorrow?
Just Wise Guys tomorrow. Only one for Friday.
Well, we have some new shows coming to the network very, very soon. I'm working on one of them. I'm going to be talking to one of them tonight. It's going to be another MMA show, probably, and other shows going to be joining us very, very soon. Well, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back on Monday. Me and Speedy talking sports. Speedy, make sure you buy a shaver. Shave between those.
No.
Why not?
That is not happening.
Well, I think Connor would shave over there. I think he shaves.
All right, you can go ask him when you call him back when we end the show.
Well, I'm not going to call him back to ask him if he shaves over there, but I'm asking.
Thank God.
Thank God. Why thank God?
I'm sure Connor would not want to tell you
I
that
think Connor
either.
would answer the question just as well as Dylan would. I mean, seriously, Speedy. I mean, I'm trying to help you here. If you're a man of dignity and a man of understanding of what women want to see, you shave over there, you know? No. You hear that, guys? No. Speedy will not.
I will not reveal anything to you.
By the way, Carl says, Nothing wrong with disagreement. Sorry, I couldn't call in to make my point. You can call in on Monday, buddy. Monday, you can call in. I know you're working. School's starting for you. And listen, stay tuned. Keep listening to our show, even when you go back to school. We love the fact that we have fans throughout the country and good quality fans that stick with us and listen to our shows. We really appreciate everybody that joins us every single day and puts the time into listening to us. We like to entertain people as well as Speedy. Tomorrow, Speedy will not be on the shows, but on Monday, I'm going to try to get him to wear a man thong on the show so everybody
No,
can see.
I will not.
Why not?
That is not happening.
Why?
Why would I do such a thing?
But I think it would be a good idea. I think that will entertain people. It won't entertain me because I got to sit next to you, but
it won't entertain me either. So
why not?
Both of us will be flustered.
Well, we'll get a Captain,
we're gonna have a very weird
Captain
show.
America box. I guess you got a man thong. What do you think? God, Captain America. You like Captain America.
I do, but not in man thong form.
We'll call you Captain Nut America.
Oh God,
Captain Nuts. We'll call you.
God,
Captain Nuts. What do you think?
No, just no.
How about you guys? Anybody want to see Speedy in a man thong? I think a lot of people would. No? Anyways, that's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. Me and Speedy will be back on Monday. Until then, this is Errol Marks and Speedy Petey saying sayonara until next Monday. Good night, everybody.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.